And now, your local forecast.
We're back. Got today Chief Street and Luke's return from the US of A. Welcome home.
Thank you.
How was it? Warmer?
A little bit. Yeah, it was a little bit warmer. 23, 25 Celsius. A couple of thunderstorms.
Beautiful.
Oh, a couple of thunderstorms in Adelaide.
How was the dust?
That was fine. It was basically all gone. Yeah, all the smoke from the fires. Yeah, all gone. Yeah.
You missed so many storms here in Adelaide. Back-to-back days of just rain.
Yeah.
And no leaks in here. No leaks.
It's good news.
Yeah. Very different story a year ago.
Yeah, right.
Just ruined a couple of devices, but that's fine.
Yeah. You're asking me on another episode how many Launchpads I have. I have less because I put them all in like a pile.
Yeah.
In, you know where the vocal booth is here?
Yep.
There's like a little storeroom.
Yep.
I put them there, and that room is on the edge of the external wall.
Yep.
Where the gutter, so when they built these buildings 30 years ago, they put the gutters inside the building, not outside.
Yeah, like
What?
Box gutters.
Box gutters. And so what happened is all this rain is pouring into this box gutter and it's filling up and then flowing back down the inside of the wall onto all these launch pads.
Who designed this place? I swear they made some really questionable decisions.
Yeah. So we just finished electrical. Hooray.
Yeah.
Another studio update. We just
Show
got-
us the lights after.
Oh, yeah. So we got these massive lights in the film studio now
Well, that's good.
on a dimmer.
We've learned how important lighting is.
Oh, yeah.
I was showing Nick the difference between the first video we did in here compared to like now. The lights made so much difference.
And I need to get more
This big floaty one.
Yeah.
because the one behind Luke, I noticed the last two videos I've filmed in here just
Oh, what flashes?
So I was recording a podcast a couple of days ago and I think I messaged you guys.
Yeah.
The power went out.
Again.
Yeah,
What is this? So is this just a bad area? They've
think
got
so.
a bad switch.
I think so. And the South Australian Power Network sent me a text saying apologies for the inconvenience and all these updates. And they kept pushing back the time that the power would come back on for hours. And then when it did come back on, apparently it was because their gear was damaged. So that makes me think that someone maybe had a crash on the road and hit a Sobe pole.
So how did you tackle it? It was during a session.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
so what happened was all the lights but the overheads stayed on. All the equipment, all the cameras, all the mics, everything turned off.
Yeah.
Nothing was lost,
Okay,
which
that's
is pretty
good.
cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, because normally when you hit stop on this thing, it's just like saving and then a little second delay. That just powered off and then everything on the hard drive was still there. So that's a win. Did have to get the clients back to record and the next door neighbours are doing like some jackhammering or something.
Oh my God.
I was like, hey, I'm really sorry. I shouldn't be telling you how to, do your business next door, but I really need you to
Just be quiet.
just because I've got these clients in for the second time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got through. But anyway, that was probably my low of the week, but and I've been a bit sick, which is why we've had to push the podcast back a little bit because I sounded like, I don't know, I was hungover. But I'm on the mend. How are you guys?
I'm good, man. Just busy with life and stuff, but no real updates. That's anything interesting,
That's okay.
I'm good.
fortunately.
Making the most of my jet lag, getting up at 5:30 in the morning,
look
going
fresh.
for runs. Thank you. Yeah. Early mornings, I think, makes a difference.
So this is a habit that you're going to maintain? You're going to stay up early?
Gonna try. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes.
Luke's an animal, man. I've never seen someone travel and just cop it every time like it's nothing.
Right?
Like, dude, I'd be wrecked for days.
Oh.
We were messaging him. I remember it was like 4 p.m. and like it would have been 3 a.m. in New York or something,
Yeah.
or at least after midnight for sure.
I feel like
And then you were up 4 hours later.
you get used to it, but like if you're a touring DJ or something, it must be way worse. Like at least I have a bit of time to recover. But in saying that, both my last two trips, I've been absolutely jet lagged for the first 4 days, which can be good, but it's usually bad because you're falling asleep in the middle of the afternoon. But coming home both times, it's been fine because you just wake up earlier and then do something with your day, I guess. I watched all three of the first three John Wicks on the plane on the way home. Hadn't seen
is
those
it?
before.
How good
1,
is
2, and
this?
3 all in a row.
It's seriously good.
That was a lot of fighting.
Yeah, right.
Just like 7 hours of fighting.
Did you keep up with what's been happening with that submarine?
No, I missed all of that.
You missed all of it.
Got home and I was
no.
like, what's going on there?
I am now an expert in submarines. Who would have thought though? Carbon fiber shell would fracture and implode.
Such a topical conversation for everyone. I spoke about it to my parents on the way here.
I mean, I'm interested because of all the conspiracy theories now around it.
What's a conspiracy?
Oh man, there's heaps. There's like, oh, that's convenient that these billionaires have just gone missing without a trace, you know?
No.
Hey, this is TikTok, not me. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not making this shit up.
Your TikTok
seriously.
lane is weird.
No.
So many conspiracies, man. Scroll past them for a while.
I do. I'm not liking them. I do watch them.
You engage them.
No. My TikTok was already very Titanic based.
Big boat fan.
I'm a big boat fan.
Oh, no wonder you had the ship analogy last week and the other week.
Oh,
yeah.
So if you missed that one, go back to episode 11 if you want to hear Nico's analogy of the music industry and ships.
Yeah.
You missed that.
No, he was here. That was 10.
That was like
was that 10?
Two
Yeah,
episodes.
10. And then we did the How to Make Money, and now we're here today. Great. So you're a little bit of love for boats.
Love
Nick.
boats. Yeah. Also love submarines. Terrified, claustrophobic. But yeah, I was watching that story intently. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know what drives you to go that far deep into the ocean.
What drives you to go on a sardine can in the first
that's
place?
the other thing I was saying to my parents. I was like, you know,
we
at
have
least
cameras.
Yeah, but like at least if I was going to get in something like that, I wouldn't have want. It looked like a bullet where you could only see one way out. Like,
Well, there's
why
a
would you
video
do
where
that?
he was describing it, and it was just like a shell with nothing inside, no
Sit on the
seats,
floor. There was a
like,
toilet.
a toilet,
Yeah.
and then the PlayStation controller.
Imagine that. Imagine if you're just, you're 45 minutes into the descent and you're like, I'm really sorry. I need a fart.
Yeah, gonna go lay a pipe in the back.
Well, when
Plug your ears.
when you're paying that much for a ticket, you're allowed to do whatever you want. Right?
Yeah,
Anyway, shouldn't joke about it, but the
unfortunate how it ended up.
very unfortunate. The Logitech reviews though on that controller, hilarious. Apparently the controls work on the way down and on the way up.
Yeah. Well, I think they got the best result anyway, which was immediate. Instant.
Strange though how the media had a lot of attention on that, yet didn't really cover. There was a boat with 700 people that sank.
Yeah.
That got no coverage.
Can't be like that.
Yeah. Interesting. Anyway.
We'll just pass on that story like the media passed on that.
Well, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. True.
But I don't watch the news anymore. I like what's happening with the culture on TikTok. I like to see what people are doing in self-sourced information, which then means that it's not true and accurate most of the time.
Well, there's media half the time.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Having spent a week in America.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why you have us. Tune into us and we'll tell you how the music industry really is. It's fantastic. What are we going to talk about?
Well, the first topic was New York, really. I want to hear more about it.
Yeah, tell us more about New York.
Yeah, so it was cool. New York, big, busy city.
Yeah.
Been there a few times.
Just remind everybody, why were you there?
Indie Week.
Cool.
The A2IM Indie Week, which is the American Association of Independent Music. So we just all got together and chatted about stuff, which was cool. Met some really interesting people.
Yeah, who'd you meet?
Accidentally met Wycliffe Jean.
Wycliffe. That's a name I haven't heard for a while.
Old Fuji's sitting in this lounge. He was playing some beats on his phone. Now, to put this into context, he's 53 or so now.
Right.
He's not 90s Wycliffe anymore. And he had a hat, big sunglasses on. So he's just sitting there playing some beats on his phone, and I'm sitting there because I had a bit of time out to just go chill for a bit and whatever. And I'm like, it's a cool beat. He's like, yeah. Do you want to hear some more? I'm like, sure. He played a few more. And he was like, what's your name? I'm Luke. What's your name? He's like, I'm Wycliffe. I'm like, cool. I'm like, you're a producer? He's like, yeah. And
Did this
in my
go
head,
all over your head? Yeah.
No, well, in my head, I'm like, why would he be here?
Yeah, right. He doesn't seem like an indie music
I'm like,
attendee.
why would the Wycliffe be here? It must be another Wycliffe, but it was that one.
When did you realise?
When other people were taking photos of him and photos with him.
Look, I can't say something. In my experience, and I could be way off the mark here, when someone who has a celebrity status is approached by someone who has no idea, it's kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he knew that you were just interested in what he was doing, not just trying to find out.
He played me a bunch of beats. I was like, they're sick.
Were they good?
Yeah, they were good. Yeah.
So he must be a producer as well, obviously, now. I don't know if he was in the beginning.
Yeah. He's always been a producer as well. Like obviously he's a musician and stuff as well, but he's always like he's produced heaps of other tracks as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I had a few bagels.
Yeah, yum.
Yeah, man.
I had a Reuben bagel. That was good.
Why don't we just adopt that in Australia? Why don't we just have bagels here?
Yeah, well we do.
Something about the New York.
Quite the same.
It's about the New York water, isn't it? That's what makes all their doughs
really
stuff really good. Yeah, you didn't know?
No.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why they're pizza dough, bagel dough.
Really?
Yeah.
I've learned something today.
Something in the water. I did see some news around New York though, and that was that Fred again announced some of his US tour. He's doing 3 shows in New York. I think these are all in a row, and that venue has 13K.
Wow.
I heard about Brooklyn Mirage a while back, and I've always wanted to go check it out.
Did you go?
So while I was there, I was thinking, what's on? And I was like, Wednesday night, Martin Garrix. So that would be cool. Oh, it's sold out. I'll see what's on Thursday night. Oh, Martin Garrix. Oh, it's sold out. See what's on Friday night. Oh, Martin Garrix. Oh, it's sold out.
Do you reckon he plays the same set?
Presumably.
I reckon a lot of it would be similar. He'd probably have, how long has he played? 90 minutes, 2 hours?
Yeah. 3 sold out shows, Brooklyn Mirage, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night.
Wait, wasn't Excision on as well?
Yeah, that was on the Sunday night. But I didn't get in until...
That would have been so good.
Didn't get into 11, so...
And I think that had Space Laces on it as well, who's like one of the best. That would have been a sick show.
I'd been up for 36 hours by that point, so I just went to bed.
Did you go to Mirage?
No.
Bugger. Next time.
I've decided next time I do a trip, I'm going to have a few days at the start and a few days at the end. Because these beelines straight in, straight out, it's just getting too much for this old body.
Well, I mean, I've got an opportunity potentially to do a beeline trip somewhere and then come back, and I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
I'm either going for an extended period of time and want to have lots of...
I reckon you got to make it at least 2 weeks.
Yeah. And we spoke about this, having other opportunities lined up so that if one falls through, you don't just end up... Right. Yeah, because we are, unfortunately, in Adelaide, it's just so far away from everywhere in the world, which is a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if it's going to take you 36 hours to get somewhere, you don't want to have to start on day 0, but you want a couple of lead up. And
I've done that. Oh, I think my first ever international show in New York, I played, I think, pretty well the day I got there.
Oh, yeah, dude.
It was rough. It was really rough. Because technically I was in America the day before, but that was only because I got into LA and then you do the trip from LA to New York.
And that trip messes you up as well. That 3-hour time difference really messes with you.
It is a long trip. It's seemingly a very long trip, not the 14-hour one across the ocean. That trip from LA to New York just seems to take forever.
Yeah. Leave at lunchtime, go into LA, arrive at 3, even though it's been 6 hours. Leave at lunchtime in LA, arrive at 9 in New York, even though it's only been 6 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of messes with you a bit. Well, speaking of LA as well, the second part of that US tour for Fred again is in LA, and it's 8 shows in a row. Back to back to back to back.
Wow.
Pretty much. Very like Martin Garrix vibes at Brooklyn Mirage. And that's got an attendance of 6,000. So
I've done 13 shows back to back.
What date? Like just
every day
in a row?
That was on Warped Tour. And we just happened to get this weird 2-week period where I remember the crews being like, this is going to be hectic.
Who's going to the shows on the Tuesdays and the Wednesdays?
So it's not in the same location. So every night was a different venue.
Yeah, I know. But a whole tour?
Yeah, so we did.
Like a whole group? How many people were on the tour?
Oh.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
heaps. There was at least, I think, 15 buses of artists, at least.
This doesn't make sense to me why you would make the shows one after the other.
But
who's going to an event on the Tuesday night?
So there's this really interesting thing when you're outside of Adelaide. People do things during the week.
Man, that's an Adelaide thing where we're like, the kitchen's shut after 9 o'clock. That's an Adelaide thing. That doesn't happen everywhere else in the world. Like Luke and I used to get sushi at 11:30 at night in LA before we'd go to the studio because the studio was open.
Yeah, but you couldn't convince me that people are going to festivals on Tuesday nights.
Dude, it wasn't a nighttime. It was a daytime thing. It was packed.
100%.
It was packed.
100%.
It's Warped Tour too. It's not just like, a festival. It was like, it was the Vans Warped Tour.
Bringing all of these things together, we went and saw Motors on a Tuesday night in LA.
Yeah, and that was random. I met Slushy.
Yeah.
He didn't call me back. I was like, hey, man, we should keep in touch. Gave him a number. He puts his number on my phone, text him. Ghosted.
Slushy, if you're listening. Nick's a bit hurt.
But anyway, get back to Warped Tour. I'm pretty sure it was 13. I've got to fact check that. But I remember that being really difficult. But then we had like quite an extensive time between the next show. But it was usually 6 shows back to back. And by the 6th show, you're just like, it's tough. But it's really interesting. You always rise to the occasion. Once you're playing the show, you're like, it doesn't feel like I've just done this for 6 days in a row.
Yeah. In the moment, you get all that adrenaline rush.
Mentality of the lead up. It's just like, great fun though. I would love to do a bus tour again.
You say that now? Do you reckon when you're in it?
He was telling me there's a shortage of buses right now.
I was, yeah. So that was, one of the sessions at Indie Week was touring and how hard it is at the moment with the rising cost of fuel, with the rising cost of travel, planes, everyone wants to get back after COVID. Everyone's touring, so there's a lot of demand. So venues and festivals can pick and choose who they want because everyone's on the road. And a lot of the conferences I go to are dance focused, but this was actually all industries. And there was a lot of rock guys there, and they were like, actually, if you want to go on a tour now in the States, you can't even get a bus. Like all the buses are booked out from everyone touring. So like it's not even from a logistic point of view.
You should see how big the buses are. Like, massive. They're not like our buses here. Our buses are big. These are just bigger.
Yeah, well, I mean, it has to house a whole crew for
kitchen, lounge room, front and rear.
Can you go to the toilet on those still or not?
Oh, man. So our toilet broke. Ooh. So, okay, there was a rule on the bus, like you do not do a number 2.
Yeah.
Only number 1s.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
The only problem was that the plumbing broke on our bus and effectively, so in a toilet, there's like a bit of water that blocks
the smell. Yeah.
That had gone and there was no running water. And we had all this water on the bus in Monster energy drink cans. So Monster was a sponsor of the event, but it was really cool. Everybody thought we were just smashing energy drinks, but we weren't. They were just water, but in the branded energy drink. Anyway, we got these slabs of these things every morning. And we had a second rule. Nobody drinks the water. We use it to flush the toilet. And I just became the bus bitch. Like I think I'm just like, I'm very hygienic. Yeah. So I was like, he's just used the toilet. I'd go in there, get some water, and I'd be flushing it because otherwise, when you were traveling overnight, the toilet cubicle was in the same section as the bunks. So in the middle of the bus, there was, how many bunks were there? Because there was 12 of us. Yeah, so there was a toilet and then the bunks, right? And you just all be sleeping there and this smell of uric acid. It was just, and like that, that metal.
Yep.
Anyway, so the way to combat that was to use our tour water to flush the toilet. Anyway, fun facts about touring.
Thank you, Monster Energy.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I'd love that, to just be drinking water out of a can.
It looks we looked like badasses. We were just smashing them. And the kids watching us were just like sculling. And then, because it's like seriously hot in some of the places we're playing. And then we were napping. Yeah. Because we could.
That's, we weren't exposed.
We weren't having the shakes. And
I couldn't drink the energy drinks like that. But
saw on the news this morning, a town in WA is banning energy drinks for under 18s.
Like a big town or?
Don't know.
What, all because of Prime?
Don't know.
Oh man, I'm seeing
Isn't Prime just water?
Everywhere.
No, it's an energy drink. They got caffeine in it. There's two versions. There's like the US version, which has basically no restrictions. And then if they want to sell it here, there's like, it's got to be, a quarter of the caffeine or whatever.
Yeah.
But I tried some, my friend had a little bit, and I don't know if it was just one of the bad flavors, but it had that like medicine-y strawberry taste.
Not a vibe.
Oh, yuck. Hated it. But I reckon there's probably some other ones.
But if they want to sponsor us, go for it.
Oh, please.
Hashtag not sponsored. Yep.
Yeah. But to ban the whole thing, I mean, come on. People can just make choices. Let it go. I just don't know what that achieves, really. People are entitled to choose what they want to drink. Like, oh, yeah, the kids aren't allowed energy drinks, but if you want to slab a beer, mate, go for it. That's all good. Where's the consistency?
You
come on.
Kids can't buy beer, Chief.
Yeah, I'm talking about the adults. What's that in front of you, Nick, again?
Okay, so a couple episodes back, I pulled out a Launchpad. Had some technical difficulties because I just haven't used one in, how long do you reckon?
Since that episode.
No.
Yeah.
Before that, at least 2 or 3 years.
I'd say maybe 18 months, 2 years. I don't reckon. It wouldn't be more than 2.
2 years. All right,
yeah.
We'll go with 2. And for lots of reasons, not that I didn't want to, just life. And then when I plugged it into new laptop that's got a bunch of new software, it just wasn't instantly working, and I'm very impatient. And also trying to troubleshoot something live on a podcast. No. So I actually plugged it in a little bit before you arrived, and I think I've figured it out.
So before it was that the buttons
all the mapping was wrong
to the right sections of the pad.
So I just had to find out on my drum rack in Ableton what was the note.
Oh, okay.
What is it? And it was like G sharp. Div 1.
What? Can you explain to me why you have to find the note to connect Ableton to your Launchpad?
At the moment, and you asked a very interesting question. Am I using the Launchpad wrong? Probably. The way that the MIDI is sent, right? Correlates, this button correlates to a drum rack button, and it was just misaligning.
So what does that have to do with G sharp?
Chromatic scale. The buttons are ordered in like almost like keys. but it's vertical. It's up and down instead of left and right. So I figured it out, and it works, and I'm pumped because
what's this track?
I don't even know. I just loaded the last project that I worked on, which was Bass Therapy 6. And it had these nice chords that I think I played in one of the other episodes.
I could do that.
You could do that. It's 4 buttons. For those not watching and just listening on your drive home, I've got a Launchpad in front of me and I'm just pressing some buttons randomly. But yeah, I guess the reason I wanted to pull this out is to kind of show the legitimacy of the integrity that we sort of talked about briefly, I think, in the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
So, Luke, I guess I'm calling out a little bit of the bullshit that I'm seeing on social media. I just don't really think people should put a lot of time and energy into faking it till they make it. So I think what we've uncovered on this podcast is that people really want to see the journey and the progression, and they want to see that you're real and vulnerable, whatever. When you plug in like a mic and you haven't actually got it plugged into anything, and you've gone post and you've auto-tuned your vocals and whatever, and then you've done this polished 15-second TikTok video of you singing a cover, that's a lot of effort. And maybe there's an audience for it, and you guys have already called me out for being a creator, not a consumer. But I think it would be way cooler if people just sang in their bathrooms and used the ambient reverb and just was real, right? Because I've always done it real.
There are some people that do that, but the trouble is when you've got those other people making such professional quality audio, when you do something like that in your bathroom, it sounds so shit compared to what the other people are doing. It doesn't get the same response. So it's kind of like, if you can't beat them, join them, I think.
But I didn't do that. I didn't go and just do light shows. And
it's changed. Things have changed.
You can sing in the bathroom if you like.
Yeah, and look, and maybe I'm being too specific. I think it's the approach is wrong.
Yeah.
Can't beat them, join them. No, do something you're passionate about. Like,
absolutely.
Like I can just tell that these people are like internally combusting, like the fear factor and the desperation of like, this has to be so perfect. Otherwise I'm never going to get signed, or people are never going to think I'm good enough. It's like, no, you need to just show what you love. Like, I've actually got huge amounts of respect for people that are taking all this time to do this, but I think they're going to be disappointed.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are heaps of people out there doing crazy stuff as well, like original stuff as well. There's like both camps, for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, with the Launchpad stuff, I'm going to make mistakes, but I just wanted to do a little demo for you. We'll see how the cameras go picking this up. Oh, there we go. Look at Chief's face. He's so...
I was really thinking about before. I don't know if I necessarily agree with you, really.
Good.
Because, like, I guess I would want... Like, I don't know. I just don't see the problem if someone's recorded their take that they're happy with, that's the one they want to publicize, and then they go shoot a video of it in another location, which isn't as boring as them sitting in their room, and being outside is more engaging and it looks nicer.
I'm talking about the people that shot it in their room and then just like pretended like...
But like not everyone's gifted enough to just do it raw and do it flawlessly. So what's wrong with them? Like, if I was to record a guitar video, you said you spent 8 hours getting the right clip of your Launchpad before you went and used that one.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the difference between laying down your perfect vocal track and then making that one the video?
I guess that the idea for me was that I had perfected it, not
the auto-tune.
Correct. Again, it was totally different fields.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't compare myself to a vocalist. I have the utmost respect for vocalists. I think probably what I'm suggesting is that there are people that have tried to create a celebrity narrative around their brand that's inconsistent maybe with where they're at in their career. And I think people will, especially someone like me, will brush that off quite quickly. I would move my attention to people that I think are more interesting for being more real.
Yeah.
So maybe I haven't articulated it properly.
Yeah,
but,
that makes more sense to me. I get what you mean.
For a long time there was the A&R Global League, and would listen to music and almost be more interested in the music that had more potential than that was finished, because part of what we wanted to do, Luke and I, was to help people get to the next level. Obviously from a business standpoint, we like to have the best quality music delivered first. It's less effort for us. And then it goes the same for all the artists that come here to the studio. And then in particular, if I talked about my niche, or if you're an American, niche, with the Launchpad, with technology, there's so much you can to fake it, to hide behind what the component can do rather than what you can do. Then it just all became about entertainment. And TikTok has almost made mediocrity fucking celebrity status. And I just have a real problem with that, because it's setting unrealistic expectations for the next generation of people that think because I can do that, that's going to get me famous.
Yeah.
And they're chasing the wrong goals. So, yeah, I think, again, I'm not trying to be negative, but I want to encourage people to hone in on what makes them unique and special. And sure, there's going to be times where you really want to have a polished video, but there's going to be the majority of the time being like, nah, this is real, because I think the culture shifted post-pandemic.
Yeah. Okay. That's much better explained.
Cool.
Before it just sounded more, you didn't like what was going up, but that actually gives you a bit more thought, your actual thoughts behind it. So,
well, I'm glad you prodded, because
because it didn't make sense to me before, but I know what you mean. Like, if you're in an up and comer, there's no need to try and pretend like you've already made it in a way.
100%.
Yeah. Be a bit more open and vulnerable.
Yeah, and make mistakes. Like we've also talked about perfection roadblocks and whatever. And there's this really lovely quote that I heard someone else say the other day: comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
And I love that, because for the longest time I was comparing myself, and I've spoken about this openly. I've just like, nah, just me doing me.
My favorite is applying that to everything, though, not just music either. Like, there's always all these standards in life that people think that they have to follow, and these certain timelines and all that. It's all not true, and everyone's on their own journey and their own path.
100% agree with that.
So don't bother comparing yourself to what your mate's doing, or your cousin, or anything.
What your family did, or what
exactly, because it's changed.
Exactly.
No one's going to own a home by 25 anymore, so there goes that one.
My kids are going to live with me until they're at least 35.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. We'll get them in the music industry. All right, I'm going to do a little. So it's fucking real. Anyone that was 10 years ago, it's fake. It's real. There's no quantizing. There's no bullshit. It's just.
That was one of your better ones.
Yeah, that was a very clean take.
Thanks. I can't actually remember what happened after that sequence. So that's muscle memory from the drop of a project. Yeah, chief.
Do the little groovy thing you did before. Same project, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's like playing a piano, I guess. There's some muscle memory to where things are and whatever.
So are your kicks and your snares always in the same spot?
Yeah, keep it simple. Don't need to change that. It's a working thing.
Yeah.
This one, though, this Launchpad being velocity sensitive, which you can turn off, but I'm noticing that like clothing or just the way that I hold my hand can make more mistakes. And then, it's all quadrants. So this quadrant here is going to be all my bass stabs. Nothing's on there. I don't know whether that was deliberate when I made the project, but there are buttons that don't have any sound. So maybe when I was making mistakes, I was like, all right, I'm going to delete.
Yeah, just so your fingers aren't going to touch anything else.
They're just cool. You can just freestyle and we could probably collaborate.
That's what I'm like, I want to press some buttons.
Yeah, it's fun. But I also have this rhythmic play style that is, there's a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of room for gaps. There's always something being pressed.
Yeah, because as soon as you let it slip, it's like it shows that there's nothing there.
And I do need to sort of break out of that and start experimenting more, because I know that once I've done a sequence of like bass stabs, then I'll break it up with something melody that ties back in. And that's all formula, but that's kind of almost like safe patterns.
Yep.
So that my brain's like, okay, what do I do after this section? Okay, let's break it down into.
Go up there. That's cool.
It's very sequential.
That was very trancey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else have I got here? Oh, this is a good breakdown.
Very orchestral.
You can't really go wrong.
I think it's important to say for those people who aren't watching as well, who are just listening, that this is all the same project. Like Nick's not loading up different stuff.
Well, I've got 64 pads to play with.
Didn't you as well work out once how many actual taps?
Yeah, I tried to. I think I worked out that if it was 140 beats per minute and I was playing for 4 minutes and I had 10 fingers and they were all playing, maybe 3 buttons at a time, that it was like thousands, not hundreds, thousands of button presses. But I should work it out. I mean, if I went into Ableton and if I hit record and took all the MIDI notes, I'm sure, would it tell you?
I know. Can you tell MIDI?
I haven't got anything recorded.
Oh, right.
It would be interesting. All right, fun fact for next episode. But yeah, I was thinking, and I've said this before, I kind of wanted to incorporate this into the podcast somehow. Obviously, it's probably a bit more impressive visually than if people are just listening on the drive home. But to sort of come up with a project and show you, and then, see if someone wants to jump in on a collab or have, send them the project file. But just getting back to that original point, it's to cut through the noise today. I think jumping on something for the sake of jumping on something is not the way to do it. And
as in a trending audio or whatever seems.
I know that sounds bizarre because that's ultimately what people are taught to do. But
yeah.
No, I was telling one of my coaching clients, he makes, I guess it's like techno music. He's a gamer and he plays Age of Empires like every weekend and he plays Sonic the Hedgehog. And I was like, well, if that's what you love doing, why don't you combine the two? So why don't you show your music as the background music of like you playing some games and put that on TikTok and see if that hits an audience and it's working. He's got people that are like him that love games and love that style of music, really engaged with it, where other people won't, but that's not the people you want following you. Where the jumping on trends, you're just buying into the trend and the audience that loves the trend, but they don't actually care about you.
That's a good point. And it kind of almost ties into the ad campaign we've run the past month.
Yeah.
Because I feel like although those numbers aren't in the tens of thousands, they're genuine. I've gotten good amounts of saves of the playlist I've made. The people have listened to more than just one of my songs. Some people have followed me. Some people have commented on the ads. And usually that type of ad to me is full of the vanity, empty metrics, which just mean nothing. So it's a completely different type of engagement that we've got, which is lesser, but way more genuine.
Totally.
Yeah.
Compared to just clicks and views. Because it's kind of funny, right, as well. I put a clip of us, the last clip I put up of the umbrella.
Oh, yeah.
I put it up on TikTok and I didn't realize, but I had some sort of trending audio.
Oh, and it cut out the audio.
Yeah.
I was gonna
did you see it?
Yeah. So
it was like this really sad music.
It cut out our dialogue though.
Yeah. Look, I took it off, but that got 800 views within a couple hours because of the audio that was attached to it, not because of anything we said. People are liking this video. Can I show it? Because it's actually so funny. But anyway.
What I think's happened though is people have gone to that trending hashtag and they're flicking through videos.
Yeah. Or
skipped
it's more likely to come through the algorithm because that audio is attached to it. But it was us miming, because obviously there was no original audio, to this sad, depressing music.
And we're all laughing.
Yeah. So honestly, it had a feeling it was like a memorial for Luke. Because at one stage where he gets really emotional, Luke's like, anyway, so I just pulled it out.
Why did you put the trending audio?
It's an accident. If you accidentally click an audio to make your own TikTok, it saves it at the top.
Yeah.
And then I just didn't check anything because I'm not great at TikTok. I just went through and put everything in. And then I woke up the next morning. I was like, 900 views. Nice. Because the last TikTok clip I got did all right as well. Had over 1,000 or something for my page, which has no one. Was great. And I was like, great, maybe I'm getting some momentum here. I clicked the video and it was just this sad music. And I was like, okay, that's not right. And then I re-upped it and it got 200 plays. So
interesting.
I'll go like it for you.
Thank you. That will do nothing, but thank you.
Well, there you go. To summarize.
Empty stats.
That's what we'll call this episode, empty stats.
Yeah.
But that's one of the biggest challenges for labels and artists managers globally is if you have someone that has one video that blows up on TikTok, gets 12 million views, then what does it mean? Can they do it again?
Yeah.
Doesn't translate to music, doesn't translate to brand necessarily.
Yeah, we covered that before. I think we were saying.
And that's why there's going to be a difference between the short form viral people and the long form. Very different.
But the short form brings the people to the long form in a lot of cases.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. It's like these are empty metrics if they don't have a call to action.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, while we troubleshoot the music industry and tell about our experiences in it and stories from the past and what we have planned for the future, we hope this is adding some benefit to your journey. If you have questions for us, even if you're not in the music industry, even if you just want to know what drink bottle Cheese Street is drinking from, which looks very similar to the submarine that we're missing.
Why it has such a squeaky lid.
So squeaky. I mean, this guy is an audio expert and he brings the most...
I'm just going to stay dehydrated there next time.
Well, I'm doing it. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this episode or even if you haven't, please let us know in the comments. And if there's a particular topic or something that interests you that you would like us to talk about, let us know. Until next time.
See you later.